we come to the second part. So first part of today's class discussion was classification of haloalkane. So we classified haloalkane with respect to whether it's a haloalkane or haloarene. That's first part. Second, under haloalkane, we saw it can be either primary, secondary, tertiary, allyl or benzyl. You see, in all the cases I mentioned, all the 5 cases I mentioned, the halogen is bonded to a sp3 hybridized carbon. Next we have vinyl halide. Here the halogen is bonded to a sp2 hybridized carbon. And coming to haloarene or aryl halide, there again the halogen is directly bonded to a benzene ring. Okay, that's a haloarene or aryl halide. So that is what we done. Now we start with how do you prepare haloalkanes and haloarenes. Okay, so we come to the preparation part. Here as you can see on to my right, the different courses that we offer, and to my left, yes, that's the different themes we have for our corresponding the course that we have. Presently we are running from class 8 to class 12. Do share with your friends and family so that we can increase our community. So with this, let's start today's class. We come to the main part of the chapter. Now, first of all, what are the substrates we use to prepare haloalkane? One of the substrate, you can start from an alcohol, you can start from an alkene, or you can start from a simple hydrocarbon. Under hydrocarbon, you have to understand it's not only alkane, alkene, alkyne. Benzene is also a hydrocarbon. Okay, only benzene is a hydrocarbon. Here we are starting from alcohols and choice of reagent is yours. You have a whole lot of choice of reagents. Suppose you want to prepare our haloalkane, chloroalkane. So here you have chloro. Here also you have chloro. Even here you can prepare by chloro because X can be either PCl3 or also it can be PBr3. We don't prepare iodo by using Pi3 generally. Okay. So first reagent is we are using concentrated sulfuric acid and we are using zinc chloride. The combination of concentrated sulfuric acid and zinc chloride is called Lucas reagent. We deal with it in details in the alcohol chapter. Why I tell you? Because Lucas reagent is actually used to distinguish between primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol, which we will doing in the next chapter. Okay. So concentrated sulfuric acid, zinc chloride together, it's called Lucas reagent. So you take an alcohol, if you want to convert to corresponding chloro compound, chloroalkane, you can use this. Similarly, you can use PCl3, you can use PCl5. As well as you can simply use thionyl chloride, SOCl2, where you get haloalkane. Now, of all the 3 methods which I marked here, this method using thionyl chloride is the most preferred one. You are sometimes asked which is the most preferred method and why. We call this as Darzon's method also. But the usage of thionyl chloride as one of the reagents, the most preferred one, the reason being is, you see in all the things you have a byproduct, right? And the byproduct that you have for here, both are gases. So both are gases, they are more easy to separate out first of all because they escape easily. Moreover, since they are escaping very easily, so equilibrium lies to the right. So accordingly the yield or productivity of the chloroalkane increases and the separation technique also becomes easier. So when I said you which we prefer means which is more productivity is high, difficulty level of getting the pure product is also less. So I gave you the reason. One is the byproducts formed are gases which can escape easily, accordingly equilibrium will lie more to the right and separation technique of the chloroalkane from the byproduct also becomes easier. Okay, so this is the most preferred method. Besides that, if you want to prepare bromo, you can go by NaBr sulfuric acid. Here again we use concentrated sulfuric acid, not dilute one. Okay. Also you can use red phosphorus bromine. You see simple red phosphorus bromine you get RBr. Similarly, if you red phosphorus iodine you get Ri. Okay. And besides that, You can also use any concentrated HX. Like if you use concentrated HBr, you can prepare bromoalkane. You have certain conditions, but yes, you can prepare them. So these are different reagents you can use to convert an alcohol to corresponding haloalkane. That's the first mode of preparation. Now, look here, I already mentioned to you this, why it's preferred and why. I already told you the reason. So when you're writing the answer, first you're going to write the equation. First thing will be to write the equation, and then you are writing this is the preferred method, and you're also mentioning or indicating these are gases which can escape easily. So separation of chloroalkane from the byproducts becomes easier. So that's your answer to this question. Now, next, as I told you, you can also use any halo acid. Any halo acid you can use. So it's a substitution reaction, as I have highlighted here. You can see here, this OH is getting substituted with X. So what is the role of the acid? Let me tell you, ROH. This OH group is a poor leaving group. OH group is a poor leaving group. So to make it a good leaving group, what is done is, we react with an acid. How we do it? HX is an acid, so it will react with H plus of HX. O is having a lone pair, it will attack here, and you get a protonated alcohol. Like how you get it, you can compare this with, sorry, it will be plus sign here, like water, lone pair plus H plus, what do you get? You get hydronium ion, isn't it? Same thing here, ROH, H plus, you get protonated alcohol. Now, O is having a positive charge, electronegative O is having a positive charge, so this now leaves. So now OH now is a poor leaving group, it becomes a good leaving group after protonation with the acid. Now when it's leaving, what happens? X minus is a nucleophile. We'll talk of this in details in the nucleophilic substitution reaction later on, don't worry. Okay, so it is a nucleophile which will attack R. So its substitution means now what you have Rx. So you can see here OH is getting substituted with the halogen here. So it's a substitution reaction. Okay, and why we are adding an acid? The reason being is to make OH a poor leaving group to a good leaving group. That's the answer. Now tertiary alcohols react rapidly. Actually, haloalkane chapter, alcohol chapter are actually like a pair, you know, one can't go with the other, but the explanation part I will not be doing in this chapter, otherwise it will be too lengthy. We'll do that in alcohol chapter. For now, you just remember this as ABCD. Like when you're writing a sentence, you need to learn grammar. So now you just learn how to write the sentence without learning the grammar. Okay, so here it is. The tertiary alcohols reasonably react rapidly with concentrated hydrochloric acid, but for primary and secondary alcohol, reaction rates are slow. As I told you, we use Lucas reagent to distinguish between primary, secondary, tertiary because of this. Tertiary alcohol's rate is faster than secondary, secondary rate is faster than primary. Why? I'll explain to you when we do alcohol chapter. Okay. Now, with this, this is a good question. Look at the question. Why is sulfuric acid not used during the reaction of alcohol with Ki? See, I move back for the preparation. Here, you see, with NaBr, you are using constant sulfuric acid to prepare RBr. But why can't we do the same Ki with constant sulfuric acid to prepare the corresponding iodo compound? Because iodine is actually a bit mysterious. Look here. See, actually you should be getting this reaction. Ki plus sulfuric acid gives us KHSO4 as a byproduct, and here you get Hi. This Hi is supposed to react with Rx, isn't it? We expect this to happen. Rx will react with Hi as we have seen before to give us Ri plus Hx. This should have been the reaction. But then what actually happens? Sulfuric acid we are using concentrated, and it's an oxidizing agent, and Hi is more susceptible to oxidation. So it oxidizes Hi, and what you get here? Iodine. So you needed Hi for the reaction with Rx. Instead of that Hi that we need is converting itself to iodine. Thus the reaction to form Ri is failing. So accordingly see, so as a result Hi is actually getting converted to iodine. So reaction to form Ri doesn't happen at all. So that's the reason why we don't use Ki and concentrated sulfuric acid to prepare Ri. Okay. Now instead of that, what we use? We use a non-oxidizing agent like H3PO4 and not concentrated sulfuric acid. Okay. So that's the answer. Okay. Next, scope. Now we come to order. This is very important. Order of reactivity of alcohol, which I told you is this, whose explanation I will give you once we do alcohol chapter. Don't worry, now you remember just the order. 3 degree more than 2 degree, 2 degree more than 1 degree and 1 degree more than simple methyl alcohol or methanol. Okay, that's the order. And order of reactivity of the hydrogen halides. We saw the reaction is ROH to RX. What we need HX. The order of reactivity is of course this I can explain to you. See, here what we have seen, the HX bond is cleaving, right, to give us H plus X minus, isn't it? That I showed you in the mechanism. So bond cleavage requires energy. Lesser the energy required, faster will be the cleavage, faster will be the reaction rate, and longer the bond, breaking it will be easier, isn't it? So naturally longer bond is coming from the atomic radius of I comparing with Cl, comparing with Br, isn't it? So accordingly we know that I is atomic radius is bigger than Br, Br bigger than Cl minus. So is this order. So this order is dependent on the atomic radius of I being greater than Br, Br being greater than Cl. So longer bonds for Hi, then HBr, then HCl, longer the bond, lesser is the bond dissociation enthalpy, and accordingly faster is the reaction with HX. So is the order. Okay. Now, and the reaction we catalyze this part, not to worry. When we do alcohol, we will discuss in details. I repeat again. Now, okay, mechanism I have discussed. So this I have already showed to you. This I already told you. You make it a good leaving group here. Then electronegative oxygen atom with a positive charge. This is cleaving. And when this is cleaving, the nucleophile Br minus attacking here, and what you get are substitution product. So from OH you are getting Br. So it's a substitution product. Okay, this is indicating it's a substitution product. Next, okay, more things we have. What if we are adding, as I told you, one of the reaction, it was red phosphorus with halogen like Br2 or I2. Actually red phosphorus reacts with bromine to give us PbR3. Then that PbR3 reacts with the alcohol to give you the corresponding alkyl halide. Okay, and this is the byproduct H3PO3, phosphorus acid. Similarly, for red phosphorus reacts with iodine to give you Pi3 in the reaction medium itself, and the reaction medium itself, the Pi3 formed will further react with alcohol to give you the iodoalkane. So that's the reaction that actually take place. Okay. Now this we did in class 11. If you remember, first step, this is the homolytic cleavage. Homolytic cleavage, do you remember all this? When the bond is cleaving, number of electrons are shared by both equally. Suppose like right here Cl, here a single bond means here is one shared pair, here is one shared electron. When I write homolytic means one equal division. This chlorine takes no, I will take one, you take one. That is homolytic. You see the arrow, it is like this. Okay. So you get chlorine radicals. This chlorine radical, again homolytic cleavage, it will abstract one of the hydrogen of methane. What you get here, you get a methyl radical, and this, see I am showing you here, CH3H. So this is leaving, this is leaving. What you are getting? You are getting a methyl radical and you are getting a hydrogen radical. But this hydrogen radical and this chlorine radical will combine together, and what you get is HCl. This methyl radical now again will react with chlorine homolytically. How? Again, this will give one chlorine radical, this one will give one chlorine radical, of which this methyl radical will react with one of the chlorine radicals here, and it will give you methyl chloride. Another one chlorine radical is coming out. So this step is called initiation step. You need light to initiate the reaction. Only to initiate, not to continue. Why initiate? Because you see here, initiate to form the chlorine radical. But then why not to continue? This is called the propagation step, because you see here, as the reaction is progressing, the chlorine radical is regenerated, which will react with another one. This is the termination step. Let me show. I have not shown it. Okay, I'll show it here. Just a moment. I'll show this one. In one of the steps I'm showing here. See, I'm showing methyl chloride. I can write like this, Cl, and you have another one chlorine radical. This will again undergo homolytic cleavage like before, and this H and this Cl will form HCl, and what you get is a radical here, CH2Cl. This CH2Cl will combine with chlorine molecule again homolytically like the previous one, and what you get here is, you get here CH2Cl2 plus you get another one chlorine radical. This will again react. Ultimately you get mixtural products, if you remember, CHCl3 as well as CCl4. So this is the mechanism you need. Let me tell you, class 11 hydrocarbon chapter you must study first again before you start with organic of class 12, otherwise you will not be able to cope. Class 11 concepts hydrocarbon chapter is required, so you start studying that again. You can look for the class 11 videos again, study the textbook, and then start with the organic of class 12. Okay, so and this is the termination step. If the two radicals they combine among themselves, then you get this product. Sometimes you are asked, why do we get ethane as one of the product? The answer lies here. The methyl radical forms that can, if they combine among themselves, then the reaction will not propagate further, it will terminate at that point of time. So that's the answer to this. I am showing you here. See, the methyl radical form is actually combined with chlorine and you are getting the haloalkane. But if it doesn't do so, this methyl radical combine with another one methyl radical and all of them does it, then the reaction will stop there itself. That means will terminate the reaction. Okay, so that is what I meant. Okay. Now, next you see, when you are using a butane, you are getting mixture of two products, one chlorobutane, two chlorobutane, of which this is major and this is minor. And the question is why? For that, you have to remember from the previous mechanism, the intermediate of the reaction is a free radical, right? Intermediate for the reaction is a free radical, alkyl free radical. And again class 11 concept, for alkyl free radical we know that 3 degree is more stable than 2 degree, 2 degree more stable than 1 degree, 1 degree more stable than methyl free radical. So more stable is the free radical, faster is the product formed, and the faster product will of course be the major product. So as you can see here, since Cl is bonded to a secondary carbon, so here the intermediate was a secondary free radical, here the intermediate, and for this the intermediate was a primary free radical. And as I told you, you have to write this answer like this. Why this is major? Why? Because the secondary free radical is a more stable and thus formed faster than a primary free radical. Accordingly, this product is major, this product is minor. Okay. Now here you see, here again this one only is the same thing I showed in this manner. Here you have 2 position, 1 position. Accordingly, this is forming the free radical here, 1, 2 free radical here, 2 secondary, and or else another one is free radical 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, or else it's formed here. And this is 1 degree, 2 degree, accordingly this is major, and accordingly you get the second, this isomer as the major product. Okay. Next, this one I would like to show you something. Let me see the structure first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll choose this one. 1, 2, 3. This was the structure. Let me have a look. Yes. Now, this one I write. This is very important. You get questions of this type. Let me explain to you this first. CH3C, CH3 is a bond line structure. Now I am drawing it in a normal manner. Now, for this particular isomer, sometimes you are asked, not only this, any isomer, how many monohalogen compounds are formed? For that, you have to look at the type of carbon atoms. When I talk of type of carbon atoms, it's not always primary, secondary or tertiary. No, I'll show you. Look, type means the environment around the carbon. If the environment of the two carbon atoms is same, then if you substitute any one of the hydrogen, it will give the same product. So that's the concept here. Now, for example, this is 1 degree, this is 1 degree, as well as this is also 1 degree. But you see that these 3 1 degrees are on the same type. Why not? Look here. This methyl and this methyl are one type, because you see this methyl is bonded to a CH group, a carbon. This methyl is bonded to a carbon, which carbon is bonded to hydrogen, ethyl and methyl. Similarly, this methyl is also bonded to a carbon, is bonded to a methyl, ethyl and hydrogen. But you look at this methyl group. This methyl is bonded to a carbon, is bonded to 2 hydrogen and as well as this group. So you see this methyl is different from these 2 methyl. So one variety we have the A variety, this 2 methyl. So whether you substitute any one of the hydrogens from this methyl, you get the same monohalo product. Like whether I substitute a hydrogen from here or from here, whatever is the case, the product will be CH2Cl, then CH3 hydrogen here, and here you have this ethyl group. Same thing is if you substitute one hydrogen from here, same product you are going to get. Now, A variety. Now, next I move to B variety. This is the V variety for me. See, this is different from this. So, from this, the monohalo product I am going to get is CH3, C hydrogen, CH3, CH2 and here CH2Cl. I get this product. So, third variety is obviously the one left is this. This hydrogens are different. So, from this the product I am going to get CH3, C, CH3, hydrogen. Then from here you get a halogen here, Cl I have chosen, and hydrogen and CH3. So, how many monohalo compounds are you getting from this particular compound? 3. And you can be given any number of any compounds of this type. Only thing is you have to find out how many types of carbon. When I say type, I mean the same environment type of carbon. Okay. Another one example I give you. If I have this isomer C, CH3, CH3, CH3 and CH3. Here if it's asked, how many monohalo compounds will you form? Can you give me the answer? How many monohalo compounds will you form? What will be the answer? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how many? See here, all the 4 methyls are having the same environment. So, only one type present. So, from here you get only one monohalo compound, which is this. Anything, you substitute any CH3, CH3, CH3. This is the only answer. Okay, because you see all the methyls are having the same environment. So, you substitute any one of the hydrogens from there, you get the same product. So, that's the concept of the slide I showed here. Okay, next is, okay, this one is when you add in excess. When you are adding excess means all the hydrogens will be replaced. So, accordingly you are getting hexahalo compounds. Accordingly, how many Cls you need for from 1 alkane to, if you are having only one Cl monohalo, you need 1 mole of Cl2. If you are for 1 Cl, for 6 Cls you need 6 moles of Cl2, simple as that. So you need 6 equivalents, means you need here 6 Cl2. Why? Because actually you have 12 chlorine, right? Of the 12, 6 are combining to form this and the 6 are forming the HCl. So accordingly you need 6 Cl2. That's the concept. Okay, I have a question here. The selectivity I already mentioned. This is a different slide. See, this is a secondary alkyl halide versus primary alkyl halide. This is more stable. This is more stable, and so this will form faster. Accordingly, the corresponding halo compound CH3 hydrogen, CH3 and halogen X, this will be the major product. Okay, this is the one explanation I already gave you. Okay, next here, see, a hydrocarbon of molecular mass 72 gives hydrocarbon mass 72. How do you find out? Hydrocarbon means CnH twice N plus 2. Because it's giving a substitution reaction, it has to be a alkane derivative. See, it gives a single monohalo derivative and 2 dichloro derivative. On photochlorination, give the structure of the hydrocarbon. So first thing you get to know is this mass is 72. So you get to know it is having how many carbon atoms? 5 carbon atoms. So how? See, 12N, atomic mass is 12, 12 into N plus atomic mass is 1. So 2N plus 2 equal to 72. So 14N equal to 70. So N becomes equal to 70 by 14. Isn't it? Any doubt? Okay. So from here you get an N equal to 5. So now you know it has to be C5, H, 5 to the 10, 11, 12. This is the molecular formula. Accordingly, you can write the isomers. You can see this one we discussed. From here you get only one monohalo compound. From here, which is the answer here. So single monohalo compound, only isomer possible is this. And dihalo compounds you get 2. So yes, either you get the halogens actually are bonded to same carbon atom, geminal dihalides, or it's bonded to, here you see on 2 different carbon atoms. It's not vicinal though, it is not vicinal. It's bonded to here and it's bonded to here. So, or dihalo compounds like this. So you get 2 isomers. So accordingly the answer lies here. Okay, any questions? All fine then. After this, now complete the reaction. Now let me tell you 2 things you need to understand. You have a double bond. One reaction I give you, the one given here, bromine in presence of light. Another one I give you here, bromine in presence of CCl4. You have a double bond. Now bromine in presence of light is a condition for substitution reaction, always is a condition for substitution reaction, and substitution reaction will happen where? It will happen with alkyl groups, and bromine in CCl4 is a condition for addition reaction, and it will happen where? It will happen at the double bonded carbon additions. Alkenes undergo addition reaction, alkenes undergo substitution reaction. Okay, so for bromine in CCl4 the product will be addition. So the product will be, in that case, to double bond the bromines will add. So here you get this product if it is bromine in CCl4. Okay, if it's substitution reaction, alkyl group you have to substitute. What are the options you have here? Look, here this is what type of carbon is this and this. If you remember, carbon bonded to a double bonded carbon, these are allyl carbons, right? And these are simple secondary carbon atoms. This is also secondary, but it's allyl. Now coming to stability of radical, I told you this, if you remember, 3 degree, 2 degree, 1 degree methyl radical stability. But besides that, you also have benzyl radical are more stable. Similarly, allyl radicals are more stable than tertiary, secondary, primary. So naturally if there is an option like here, secondary versus allyl, so allyl carbon will get substituted preferentially. Accordingly, the product will be, for this will be this. I am writing it in white. So here it will be substitution reaction. So double bond will be there as it is, and the allyl group will be substituted with Br group. It's a very popular question asked, and the side product is of course HBr. So the allyl carbon will get substituted with the bromine. The reason being is this. Reason you are not asked here, you only asked to give the structure of the product. It's a very hot question. This question is repeated many a times. Okay, next is, how do you prepare from hydrocarbons? Hydrocarbon means benzene. First you see here, this is, if you remember again class 11 concept, electrophilic aromatic substitution. Go through your class 11 material, hydrocarbon chapter. Electrophilic aromatic substitution means one of the hydrogen in the benzene ring is substituted by a electrophile. In this case, the electrophile is actually X. Now, here you have a methyl group. If you remember, methyl group is ortho-para orienting. That means it will orient the X either to ortho, to ortho as well as to the para position. So it will orient the incoming electrophile X here to ortho position and to para position. So accordingly you get two mixture of two products, ortho halotoluene, para halotoluene. Okay. Now and most of the times the para product is major. Here it is for steric reason. See, X entering a crowded zone of methyl. Here X is entering a position far away from the crowded zone of methyl. So steric hindrance will be less. So like we like to when we drive, suppose we are driving, we enjoy driving in the highway. You can increase the speed plus 100, though you should not, but you can easily. Walking in a traffic zone area we hate, because it's we can't move, like we always have to change the gear as we drive in. So we don't enjoy that. Same thing here. It's entering a place, so it's like to enter a less crowded area. So here accordingly major is para and minor is ortho. Now similarly with iodine also you do the same thing, but here you have a thing here. The reactions with iodine is actually reversible, as you can see here. Here you get HI as the byproduct, that HI as a byproduct, but then if you have learnt it, HI will also get converted back to iodine. It's a reversible reaction. So what you can do to shift the equilibrium to the right, that you remove one of the products from the product side. We have learned this in chemical equilibrium. So how do you do that? By reacting HI with an agent, oxidizing agent like HiO3, where again you get iodine and water. This iodine will further react with benzene and again you get the product. So here you see, and so it requires the presence of an oxidizing agent like nitric acid or HiO4, and accordingly you can do this reaction. So if you want to do the reaction with iodine, you have to use either HNO3 or HiO4. Why? The answer is mentioned here. First part of the answer is a reversible reaction. Accordingly, this will form here, it will again move back. So what you do, you want to shift the equilibrium to the right. So you are oxidizing the HiO form to iodine again, which will again react with second benzene, and you get the iodobenzene as the product. Okay. Now next, Sandmeyer reaction. This we'll do in details in amine chapter, though we have a long way to go. What are the reagents that we use? It's a amine, primary aromatic amine. We call this step to be diazotization. Diazotization. Sometimes we write with S also. Okay. We use sodium nitrite and suppose HCl. Usually we use HCl only. It's better we write HCl. And low temperature conditions, 0 to 5 degrees centigrade, we have to use ice bath. We do a reaction is an ice bath. This salt is called a diazonium salt, diazonium halide. If it's a chloride, I write diazonium chloride. It will be then N2 plus Cl minus. Benzene, this is benzene, this is diazonium N2 plus, and Cl minus is the chloride. Okay. Now, with this, when you react with cuprous chloride, if you do with Cu2Cl2, then X will be formed as a chlorobenzene. If you use Cu2Br2 cuprous bromide, then X will be Br. Okay, you can choose both. So this is called Sandmeyer reaction. You start from an amine, you diazotize using sodium nitrite and HCl. It actually forms nitrous acid in C2, and 0 to 5 disintegrate, you get a diazonium chloride. That you react with cuprous chloride, you get chlorobenzene. If you react with cuprous bromide, you get a bromobenzene. And this is this, and so you can see you can convert a primary amine, an aniline, to halobenzene or haloarine here, or so accordingly is the method of preparation. Okay. Similarly, Sandmeyer reaction to prepare iodobenzene. Similarly, you prepare same way. You take aniline, to that you add sodium nitrite plus HCl, of course at 0 to 5 degrees centigrade, you get the diazonium chloride. To this diazonium chloride, not cuprous chloride, not cuprous bromide, you are adding here Ki, potassium iodide, you get here iodobenzene. Okay, so this is also Sandmeyer. Why Sandmeyer reaction is a reaction where we are using a benzene diazonium salt, benzene diazonium chloride for the reaction. That is Sandmeyer reaction. Okay. Now, how do you prepare from an alkene? It's again a class 11 concept. You take any alkene, you will add any halo acid, you get the haloalkane. If you are using a propene, Markovnich's addition, I repeat all these 11 concepts, delta plus, delta minus. The positive part of the addendum adds to the carbon atom having more number of hydrogens. So naturally, H, the positive part, will add to this carbon having more number of hydrogens, and I will add to this carbon. Accordingly, you are getting here major as 2-iodopropane. 1-iodopropane is very minor, almost we don't get it. Okay. So this is called Markovnich's product or Markovnich's rule, that the positive part of the addendum adds to the double bonded carbon having more number of hydrogen atoms. Okay. Again I repeat, go through your class 11 textbook. Now, this again why, here the mechanism is shown to you. See, when you are root 1, you have two options. H, where are you adding? You can add H either here, or I use a different color. You can add H either here. Okay. Now, when I am adding H to this yellow line, to this carbon, I am getting the positive charge here. This positive charge, what type of carbocation? This carbon bonded to 2 carbon atoms, so it's a secondary carbocation which is more stable, so form faster with respect to, you see here, I used a different color by mistake. Wait, this will be yellow. No, I told you yellow one. I add the hydrogen here, so this positive charge is coming because of that. So it's a 2 degree one, form faster. Now, if I do the reverse thing, I add the hydrogen here, then positive charge comes here, and this carbon you see bonded to only 1 carbon atom, so it's a primary carbon atom, so forms slowly. The reason being is 2 degree carbocation is more stable than 1 degree. Of course, this is also more stable. And this is again, as we did before, benzyl carbocation or allyl carbocation is again more stable than 3 degree also. Okay, this is the order according to the products are formed. Now alkenes, how do you prepare dihalo compounds? This we just discussed. To alkene, when you add bromine in CCl4, you get dihalo compound. You see 1,2 dihalide means it is vicinal dihalide. It's also a test for unsaturation. If you remember again class 11 concept, reddish brown color of bromine is decolorized because the product formed is actually colorless. Okay, too tough organic chemistry. Now, Next, it's a very popular reaction, Wilkinson reaction as well as Schwarz reaction. Why popular? You take any alkyl, chloride or bromide, and you want to convert chloride or bromide to iodide. What you use is Wilkinson reaction. You take the alkyl chloride or bromide, you add sodium iodide. One thing which is not mentioned, you have to add dry acetone as the solvent. Dry acetone as the solvent, I'll tell you why it's mentioned here, but I'll tell you. Dry acetone is solvent, and what you get is alkyl iodide Na. If it's you are using Rx, as you either get NaCl or you get NaBr, depending on what, whether you're using RCl or you're using RBr. Now, acetone is a non-polar solvent. Sodium chloride, sodium bromide is ionic compound. They are soluble in water but insoluble in acetone. Why dry? No moisture present. So, since it's insoluble, it is come down as a precipitate. So, naturally, since it's coming down as a precipitate, the equilibrium shifts more to the right. So, that is what is mentioned here, that facilitates the forward reaction according to Le Chatelier principle, because when it's coming down as a precipitate means no longer belongs to the reaction medium. So, you are removing one of the products formed, accordingly reaction equilibrium shifts to the right, you get more of Ri as the product, yield of Ri increases. So, conversion of alkyl bromide chloride to iodide is by Wilkinson reaction. Similarly, conversion of alkyl bromide to alkyl fluoride. Alkyl fluoride is very difficult to prepare. Okay, so best method is Schwarz reaction. You take any alkyl bromide, you use AgF as one of the reagents. Instead of AgF, you can also use Ag2F2, COF2 or SbF3. It's your choice. When you choose, you see CH3Br gets converted to CH3F. So, Br to F, any alkyl bromide to any alkyl fluoride, if you are told to convert, Schwarz reaction is the reaction. Okay, react with AgF, you get the corresponding fluoride. Okay, now, so this is all we have here. It's just a gist of all. You see, alcohol to corresponding haloalkane. You can use HX, any halo acids. Okay. We have done this HI, reactivity order HBr more than HCl. This is one of them. You can use red phosphorus with bromine or chlorine. Okay. You can use thionyl chloride, best method. Okay. Now, then Wilkinson reaction, you can convert chloroalkane, bromoalkane to corresponding iodoalkane. Okay. Schwarz reaction, bromoalkane to fluoroalkane. So, here you can use SbF3, AgF, it's up to you. Then you also have seen by Sandmeyer reaction, you are starting with aromatic amine, diazotization, then you do Sandmeyer reaction. Sandmeyer means you can use either Cu2Cl2, convert to ArCl. You can use Cu2Br2, you can convert to ArBr. And if you take Ki, you can convert to ARI, right? We have done this. And then from hydrocarbon also you can get the haloalkane. This also we have done. Electrophilic aromatic substitution is one of the methods. Okay. And that's it. And also from alkene, this one is alkene. You get dihalo compounds by adding Br2H. This one you get a dihalo compound. And this one, by using this as a reagent, you get a monohalo compound. Okay, so this is the gist of all the ways by which we can prepare haloalkane. So you can prepare haloalkane from alcohol, you can prepare haloalkane from alkene. If it's a dihalo, you use bromine CCl4. If it's a monohalo, use any halo acids, Markovnich's addition. And then from primary amines also you can prepare haloalkanes by Sandmeyer reaction. Similarly, from simple hydrocarbon like benzene, toluene, you can prepare haloarenes by electrophilic aromatic substitution reaction. Okay, and here we have 3 conversions. We can do this. Write the equation for the preparation of 1 iodobutane from 1 butanol. So let's write butanol here, CH2, CH2OH. No, I missed one. No, I wrote propanol. 1, 2, 3, 4. Butanol means 1-ol. From there we are preparing iodobutane. Simply you are getting the corresponding iodo compound. And what we have learned to prepare iodo, you can do one thing is you can convert to this to bromoalkane. From bromo by Finkelstein reaction you get the iodoalkane. So bromoalkane you can prepare by using red phosphorus with bromine or PBr3. It's up to you. We get this CH3, CH2, 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 Br, bromobutane. From there, if you add sodium iodide in dry acetone, Finkelstein reaction that we have done right now, you get the corresponding iodo compound. So first one done. Okay. Similarly, from chlorobutane, it's more easy. From chlorobutane, simply sodium iodide, dry acetone, you get iodobutane. Now, last one is but1ene to iodobutane. For that, I'll take the next slide. But1ene, I write C double bond CH2, one hydrogen is here. But1ene to iodobutane. Now, this is a bit tricky. Have a look. CH2, 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 and here you have I. Why tricky? You can add HI. You might think, why not add HI? Because to alkene, when we add HX, we get the corresponding halo compound. But if you add HI, if you remember Markovnikov's rule, H will add here, I will add here. So you will not get one iodobutane, you will get two iodobutane, right? But we know that anti-Markovnikov is applicable if we add a peroxide. But that anti-Markovnikov is applicable only with HBr. It's not applicable with HCl or HI. That also is again a class 11 concept. So what we need to do is, first we'll naturally, since we know that Markovnikov rule is followed for, anti-Markovnikov's rule is followed for HBr, CH2, no? Yes. So first thing is we'll add HBr in presence of an organic peroxide. I write here peroxide. So anti-Markovnikov's product, accordingly I write here CH3, CH2. Now it becomes CH2. Anti-Markovnikov's product you get here CH2Br. Simple as that. Now Finkelstein reaction once again. So you add here sodium iodide in dry acetone. So I repeat, you cannot add HI with peroxide because peroxide effect or anti-Markovnikov effect or Kharash effect is not applicable with HCl, HI. It's applicable only with HBr. So again, go through your class 11 concept, you'll get to know that. So naturally, we first convert to HBr to bromo, anti-Markovnikov's product, and then Finkelstein reaction we correspond to the corresponding iodo compound. So with this, I end today's class, and we meet again next week with the same chapter but with a different subtopic, continuation of the same chapter. Till then, thank you all of you and do take care. Bye.